Hello, I am Kate, and thank you for coming in for this little drop-in yoga, which is about 10 minutes, and you are so welcome. The door is open, and if you wish to leave, if you need to leave, if it's not working for you today, that's absolutely fine with me. You can also come back in again if you want to. I was the person in the room that when I started my yoga, I didn't expect to want to do it. So perhaps be open to trying it today, and if you are happy to give it a go, then one of the things I do with some of my classes is I do a welcome, because the hardest thing I also say is to turn up, and you've already got here, you're arrived in the room, so that's the hardest thing I will be asking you to do. I can't do that bit for you, but welcome yourself here. And one of my teachers showed me this recently in a training, and I really loved it. It was to take, like you're giving a friend a handshake, and take yourself as if to give yourself a, you made it as far as here, and give your forearms a squeeze, and then go a little bit further on and give that a squeeze, and then go above the elbow and give that a squeeze, and then go up to the shoulders and give that a heartfelt squeeze. And then maybe it's a day where you want to give a big sigh out, so allow yourself to be here now that you have arrived, and think about this little invitation to look down at your feet. That if you have got a lot going on and there's a story or a to-do list that's very long today, then it's something I can sometimes do in cues, or when I'm feeling a slight sense of overwhelm. I notice the ground underneath my feet. So maybe even look down at your feet so that you know that you're sitting, and have a sense of the feeling of the sit bones on the chair seat underneath you. And then whatever is a comfortable length to your spine, find that. As we all know, when we see a friend walking into our house and the head's down and the back's down, you know that maybe it's a day which isn't so good for them. So perhaps with length in your spine, embody a sense of everything is okay. I personally don't know of any emergency that's going to arrive in here in 10 minutes, in the next few minutes. So allow yourself to have a comfortable length to your spine, and balance your head lightly on your shoulders. And then think about running the attention down to your tummy, and notice that gentle expansion and contraction as your body breathes. And as we sit, perhaps remember what it is that made you come in this morning, that intention perhaps to do something for yourself. Perhaps somebody has said to you, try yoga. But whatever brought you here today, perhaps your intention is for yourself. I went to something recently, some training, and we all had to sit there and say, why were we there? And I shared that I'd been working very hard, and that this day was for me, it was me time. So perhaps invite yourself to have a bit of you time for these next few minutes, because when we take time for ourselves, it benefits all. It's a bit like the aeroplane when they say put your own safety belt on before you put anybody else's. So take a moment in stillness and silence to remember perhaps why you came in today. And then bring the palms, if you want to try this, it's a really nice sensation between the palms. It's also an Ayurvedic hello, good morning, good feel good to the nervous system, a natural medicine, welcome in the mornings. Often people say to me, I can't remember anything you did in your class, but that, I like that. And even if before your feet touch the carpet in the morning, give this a go. Rub the palms until you get that heat. It doesn't have to be as long as me or look like mine, whatever it feels right to you. When you've got a nice warmth into your palms, rest your palms, your warmer palms perhaps, against the closed eyelids. Drape your fingers, maybe even find a softness to your fingers as they drape over the front of the brain. And draw in, welcome in that warmth that you created, your own resource center, right to the back of the eyeball, and bring it all the way in. And then bring the hands down again to your knees. And then I'm going to show you a little neck, places in the body where we stick a lot of our burdens, shoulders, neck. So this is called cosmic headrest, because we're looking at the stars. So interlace the fingers. And then taking the hands to the back of the head. And it's a whole body approach. So press through the feet. Again, look down at the feet, especially if you know that you've drifted again into something. Maybe there is a to-do list. Maybe there is a dialogue going on today. So press the feet down and switch on the leg muscles a little bit. And cosmic means looking at the stars. So perhaps you want to imagine a beautiful night sky with stars and bring the hands to the back of the head. And as much as we're rooting the feet, a sense of root to rise, that in knowing that we have the support of the chair and the seat, that we can tilt our head up and lovingly draw a bit of length into the back of our neck muscles. And we can even perhaps draw the shoulder blades down. You might feel them like little wings onto the back of the body, giving you a little bit of support there. And don't forget to breathe, and maybe even smile. And breathe. Rooting to rise. And then when you're ready, letting the hands go and letting the shoulders go, and just giving a little bit of a flow to the breath. And then coming back to sitting again. I love to do these. I love it if I can introduce you to practices that might be go-to ones, as they often say in yoga classes, the deeper practices are off the mat. So when I feel a sense of trying to do too many things at once, or a sense of overwhelm, I just go, hang on a minute, Kate, slow down here. Take 3 breaths. So with me, or let my voice be a guide, or simply share the space. Whatever feels right to you, we'll take 3 breaths. Breathing in, mouth open, mouth closed, it matters not. Breathing out. And another couple of breaths. And we're going to just take a very simple twist in the chair. And when we twist, and the rotation is just here in the upper body, the rotation that I'm showing you is ideally is in the upper body. So keep the lower body strong. I've got a block here, and I encourage you to put the block here because it keeps the lower body secure and anchored. And one of the things I like to think of is my body is an anchor for me when I get very busy. So the lower body is the anchor for the rotation in the upper body. So squeeze the block and soften, and then just get used to what that feeling of squeezing, hugging in, that sense of drawing into core, also reminds me of my core strength and my resilience. And as you squeeze the block, then get long in the spine. Have a think about whatever feels right in your body. It doesn't have to look like mine. And then using that security of the lower body, just take a little turn. I'm going to the left. You can go to whichever side feels right. But here, one of the key pointers that I was shown was that you just use the shoulder blades on the back of the body and lengthen the spine. And last of all, the head loves to lead the charge, but just head last of all looking back and maybe moving with the rhythm of your breath. So getting long as you breathe in and using the shoulder blades, maybe that squeeze between the legs to move into the twist. And then unwinding. Maybe taking a moment to notice. I sometimes think it feels like Play-Doh, like this has got a bit more space, a bit more room in it when I've done that twist. And then I'm going to turn to the other side. Same thing, anchor the lower body, give it a squeeze, and then the length in the spine doesn't have to look like mine, but just that sense of the lower body is staying still and rooted, and then lengthen the spine, and then the shoulder blades and the rhythm of your breath to pulse into that twist. And last of all, if there's nothing funny going on in the neck, looking back over the shoulders. Feels good. I hope it does in your body too. And then coming back to center. And then again, refinding center. I use my breath like a little compass sometimes, but you can use the feel of the body, the feet on the ground, the sit bones on the chair, any support that you might have at your back body. I also often introduce hand gestures. They're called mudras in yoga. You can just simply have the palms down, or you can have the palms up, or you can have the hands on the body. There's no one size that fits all. And we'll take those 3 breaths. Just noticing the weight and stillness of the body. Perhaps coming back to remembering that intention of why we came into something for a bit of me, us, why we brought ourselves in for a bit of me time, because in benefiting ourselves, we benefit all. And take a moment, take your time coming out of practice to notice any shifts or changes, or even to notice no shifts and no changes, and that's okay too. But reaffirming that process of growth and healing, and we take time for ourselves.